scripture this morning comes from Matthew 25, verses 31 through 46. And it amazes me how our Sunday school lesson reflected much of this scripture. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his throne in heavenly glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you are blessed, you who are blessed by my Father. Take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" The king will reply, "I tell you the truth. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers of mine, you did for me." Then I will say to those on the left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me." They also will answer, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, or a stranger, or needing clothes, or sick, or in prison, and did not help you?" He will reply, "I tell you the truth, whatever you did for one of the least of these, you did not for me." Then they will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteous to eternal life. And I just want to mention that as I mulled over this scripture and thought about it and let it go through my mind, I thought there has to be some way I can be more attentive, to make a special effort, purposeful effort to reach out to those in need. We all have needs at some time. We do not have to look very far to find somebody needing something somewhere. Starting with our own families, our extended families, our neighbors, our community. But what about our church family? There's always somebody who needs someone to just listen to them, give them a hug, care about them, take time for them, connect with them during the week. Don't forget them after we walk out of church. Respond to what they do need, or just to acknowledge that they exist and they breathe like the rest of us. Carol and I discussed this, and we wondered if maybe we could or should put a needs sheet in the foyer for those who are too shy to speak up during hearts of thanks and praise during the service. They could list their needs, their requests, maybe if their name, if they wish to, and somebody would offer to follow up with them. Anybody could volunteer to do that. We could just step out in faith. But it's something that I need to think about and respond to.
Good morning and happy Sabbath. Today is Women's Ministry, and Women's Ministry is what we want to be uplifting to our community. We want to nurture anyone we can, and we want to be able to do whatever we can for each one. So Jesus is our model, and we want to follow him. We want to be committed to Jesus and not to self. We want to study the Bible. We want to be committed to God and his word, and we want to have prayer. Prayer is so very, very important, and we each need to have prayer each and every day. That's the only way we're going to be able to find our way home, is through prayer. We have to have prayer. So it's a very, very important step. And Jesus is our model. And that's why, to me, missions is so very important. And that's why I love working with the free clinic, taking them over food, supplies, and helping them out. And also Crossroads. And Kara was going to be here today, too, from Crossroads. But her grandmother has passed away, and they were going to have her funeral this afternoon. So we're going to invite her in again some other time. This is the time she needs to spend with her family and friends. I have 3 women that I kind of want to talk about for 1 minute. Maria Huntley. She used to be president of the Tract Missionary Society of the Adventist Church. And that turned into the Ministers Publishing Department and also the Adventist Book Center. She was the only woman that had ever talked to the General Conference in any of their sessions, other than Mrs. White. And she talked in 1888. And then there was Sethra Henry, that she was a temperance leader. She was not an Adventist at the time she started, but she was a temperance leader, she was a personal evangelist, and she was a writer. Mrs. White started corresponding with her when Mrs. White was in Australia, and Mrs. Henry became an Adventist then at that time. Mrs. White asked her to continue on with her women's work and her public role in women's Christian ministry. And so she is the one, Mrs. Henry is the one that started in 1898 the women's ministry at our General Conference. And then there is Nellie Durlard. She was treasurer and teacher of the Nebraska Conference. She went to South Africa, and she was there. She helped form Madison College. She was a treasurer and an advisor there for 20 years. She helped with the Emmanuel Missionary College, which turned into Andrews University. And then she, at age 78, she founded, organized, and trained every person at Riverside Sanitarium. At 78 years old, she done that. And I want to thank Shane and Cindy for that song. It was beautiful. I appreciate that a lot. I heard a song on the radio that I'd asked them about, but I guess I couldn't find the music on. It was about lead me to the cross, and I'll find my way home. How many of us remember that cross? How many of us look to that cross and who hung up on that cross for leadership, for guidance, for strength, for courage? Each one of us need to remember that cross. This little boy was standing on a street corner. He was lost, he was afraid, and he didn't know where to go or what to do. And they kept asking him, people kept asking him, what is your name and where do you live? He didn't know. But finally, he had a huge grin come upon his face, and he remembered, if you can get me to the cross, I can find my way home. Amen. If we can go to the cross, we can find our way home. But we have to be at the foot of the cross. We have to be each and every day in prayer and in earnest prayer. We need to be able to have prayers for our families, our friends, our neighbors. We need that prayer time. We need that closeness. As Jesus hung upon the cross for hours, he was waiting for some expression from his disciples of faith, which didn't come. But the thief next to him asked him for forgiveness of sin, and he told him, I will be with you in paradise. Somewhere, sometime, that thief had heard about Jesus. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to ask. We need to have that closeness to Jesus. We need to be there. We need to know what he wants us to do, and we need to follow him on a daily basis.
Amen.
You know, there's many women in the Bible, too, that has done great things. There was Deborah. She was a judge in Israel. Elizabeth was the mother of John the Baptist, and she was a relative of Mary, the mother of Jesus. There was Hannah. She was the mother of Samuel. And there was Anna. She was a prophetess. And there was Priscilla. She was an evangelist. And then two that we don't read about too much is Lois and Eunice, the grandmother and mother of Timothy. In 2 Timothy 1:5, Paul says that he can see in Timothy his sincere faith that first lived in his grandmother Lois and in his mother Eunice. You know, in 1 Corinthians 16:14, it does say that whatever we do, we need to do it in love. And that, to me, is what Jesus is all about. Everything we do, everything we say, should be in love. And so that's why that the Crossroads and the free clinic, they're so very, very important, because they take care of our community. They're uplifting our community. They're helping the suffering and the needy. They're there for them. We didn't always have these things in our community, but the work they do is making our community so much better. You know, as Jesus hung on the cross, as I said, he waited for the disciples to have some expression of faith, which they didn't have. But he hung there. And as he was hanging there in agony, in body and mind, he looked out upon that crowd, and he still, with all the things that he was going through, with that crown of thorn on his head, with the blood coming down his face, with the nails in his hands and in his feet, he looked out and he seen his mother, and he still had compassion for her and wanted to make sure that she was taken care of. As she was standing beside John, he told John to take care of his mother. Mothers are very important. Eunice and Lois taught Timothy the grammar of the Holy Scriptures, and Paul could see in Timothy his sincere faith. We need to have that sincere faith as well. And I pray that we all, each and everyone, can. The song says, lead me to the cross, and I'll find my way home. In Isaiah 49:13, it says, with hands risen, we are in the palms of Jesus' hands. We are there. He has graven us in the palms of his hands. Lead us to the cross. Lead us to the cross, because we are graven, each and every one of us are graven in Jesus' hands. Lead us to the cross. And now Cheryl is here from the free clinic, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about what they've been doing over there. And I want to thank her for being here today and for sharing with us what she has done at the clinic, what they are doing. And I praise her in every way, her and all of her workers, for the work that she does. Thank you.
I'd like to thank you all for having me here today. I am the new executive director at the Health Care Clinic. God decided that I needed to take a new path. I had a friend that was working with the president of the board, and she approached me back in December and said, I've got this job for you. I think you're perfect for it. And so I applied, and for luck, I got 2 interviews, and then they made an offer, and so I prayed a lot to see if I was the right choice for this, because I know there's a lot of people depending on this position and hoping that the free clinic can help a lot of people. So I was fortunate enough that God said, this is my calling. I am back where I feel I need to be, trying to help individuals, in this case, get better. The free clinic actually opened its doors in April of last year, so we'll be celebrating our first birthday in April. We're excited to get through our first year. So we're hopeful that we can continue to expand. Right now, there are only 5 staff on board. Myself, a registered nurse that runs the clinic on the medical side. Then we have a young man that is very talented that is organizing our volunteers and doing all of the data that we need, because of course we're still got to do all the medical records like everybody else. And then we have a wonderful lady that sits up front, and she is our community health worker. So she works with a lot of the individuals. And then we have an APRN who actually comes in 2 days a week and sees patients for the morning hours to help us out, because we actually had to expand. We started out just having an evening clinic on Thursday nights where we had 2 medical providers coming in. We would see about 10 patients a night. The waiting list was long. We had people waiting 3 to 4 weeks to try to get in and see somebody. So they decided to add the Tuesday and Wednesday morning clinics. I don't know if I should say I'm happy to say, but our list is still long. When they originally started the clinic, they found that there was over 7,000 individuals that qualify for our services. And to qualify for our services, what they're looking at is people that live in Buffalo or Kearney County that are uninsured and that actually are at 200% of poverty or lower. Most of the clients that we're seeing, about 82%, are way below 100% of poverty. So we're really seeing the people that just do not have any means of accessing care, and they've gone years without care. A lot of them are diabetic, have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, a lot of those conditions that are chronic that have not been treated for a number of years. We are blessed that we are in the same building as Uninet. They do have resources that can help us obtain medications for these individuals after the first month. So we try to help them the first month, and after that, Uninet tries to help them so that we can start getting them down the road to a better place. There's one client in particular, and if you go to our website, we do have a couple videos out there that you can see some of our clients and some of our volunteers. We do have over 100 volunteers that volunteer throughout the evenings and days. Some are medical providers, some are not, because we have people like your congregation that has been so generous in bringing food for the volunteers on Thursday nights, and they do enjoy your treats quite well. They get excited when they know your church is going to be bringing treats. So, but it does help those volunteers that come on Thursday nights, because they come directly from their practices and they spend another 4 hours with us volunteering their time. Even our medical director is a volunteer medical director. She donates her time. She's usually there 3 Thursdays out of the month, volunteering her time and giving up some time with her family so that she can help other individuals. So we're very blessed to have her with us. She is also spearheading. We're going to work on some wellness when we do our birthday. We're going to start a program called Walk with the Doc, where we're going to do walks out at Yanni Park and once a month at least, and then doctors will give a little presentation about a topic that's near and dear to their heart, usually something to make us take better care of ourselves. Then there will be a walk, and then individuals will have an opportunity to actually visit with that doctor along that walk. So we're hoping that's another way to get more information out to the community on how to better take care of themselves and understand what we're trying to do at the clinic. To date, we have seen over 270 unique individuals. Of that, we have actually had patient visits over 700. So some of those individuals we've seen several times. We are also fortunate that we have a couple nurses that come from Gothenburg, believe it or not, and offer their services once a month, and they actually hold a foot clinic for the diabetic patients. So it looks like a spa when they come in. So for the diabetic patients, it's really a treat, but they actually will treat their feet and examine them to see if they're having any problems with circulation and try to make sure that they maintain good care of their feet, because diabetics are unfortunately prone to having issues with circulation that can lead to amputation and other problems. So we are really doing well in having all those people that are volunteering for us, and I just dropped my brochures. Okay, thank you. I did bring some brochures. We love to have volunteers. We love to have people come and actually sit with our clients. Some of them, you know, are having a very bad time, and they'd like to hear from other individuals that there is hope. We've got a couple diabetic patients that have lost hope, and we're trying to get them some resources. So we do a lot of referrals to mental health as well, because we're trying to do more things. We even have a dentist that would like to provide some equipment for us, and an optometrist that would like to provide equipment for us. Unfortunately, we have already maximized our space. We're lucky that Good Samaritan Hospital has donated that space for us. Otherwise, I don't know that we would be able to afford it at this point. My job right now is to actually try to grow the clinic and try to serve more of those patients that need us. Get the word out for individuals that do not have the insurance so that they know that there's some place that they can go. We would like to believe that everyone has insurance, but unfortunately it is an expense that a lot of people cannot afford. So we want to make sure that they're coming to us and trying to at least, we've seen several individuals. One lady who came in is diabetic. She was in a wheelchair when she first came to our clinic. She was suffering greatly, had not seen a doctor in some time, was not taking medication for her diabetes. Today, she actually walks with a cane and is just doing so much better and feeling so much better that she's trying to give back. So it's just those kind of stories that make you feel so good when you see patients leave and they're saying thank you, thank you, thank you, because they feel so warm that somebody cares for them. And you know, we try to hook them up for other resources, whether it's Crossroads or other places within the community as well, so that they can get their other needs met. We're trying to do one piece, but we're going to add some more as we go on. So my job will be to try to get some more funding going, try to grow the clinic, try to get some more providers in. So if you happen to know of doctors that might have some spare time, or nurses, we would gladly take some more help, because we don't want to burn out the providers that we do have. We have wonderful people that are volunteering their time and energies to help us out, and we pray that they will continue to do that. So if anybody has questions, please, or you want to see the clinic at some point in time, please feel free to stop by. We are open, our doors are open Monday through Thursday from 8:30 to 4:30, and then Friday from 8 to noon. That's about the hours that we can staff at this point. So as we grow, we'll hopefully have some more hours available. So if anybody has questions or would like to stop by, please feel free to visit us. We're an open door. We love to have people come and visit. And if you know of anybody that needs our assistance, please refer them. We want to try to get as many people as possible. Right now we're gearing up to do school physicals for a lot of the individuals that need school physicals to start kindergarten, middle school, and those other areas. I forget how many physicals we have to do. So please pray for those individuals, pray for our volunteers that they will be able to continue. I know we are appreciative of them, and pray that we can continue to do good work. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl, so very much. I appreciate that. Okay, guys, she says I need help. We take lunches over, snacks, whatever you want to call them, whenever the lady calls us. So it's time that we all get into the missionary fields and help out. They're working very hard, helping our community and helping the needy. We need to help them as much as we can. They can't continue on if they don't have the help either. So we need to help them.